Are we in the room? We're in the room.
In the
According
room.
to research, 70% of women over the age of 50 report feeling overlooked, both socially and professionally. It's known as invisible woman syndrome.
Well, here to chat about it are the very visible.
We can't even see them.
These people are visible. Norma Sheehan, Barbara Scully and Amanda Brunker. Good morning to you. Amanda Brunker, in that out of it, nobody could say you're invisible this morning.
Alan, it's not easy being me.
No, it's not.
Living in the shadows all my life. It's been very hard. The things I need to do, it's like, is there anybody out there? Is there anybody?
Joking aside, because I've had this conversation with you before where you sort of said, like, living with three men in the house, sometimes you can feel invisible.
Oh, that it is an understatement. And I know I'm a very loud kind of persona, but it's at home, I'm just mum and I'm the skivvy. I'm the person who drives people places. I'm the one who makes the food. I'm the one who washes the clothes. I'm the one who just picks up after everybody. And I'm the facilitator for everybody else's life. So I do tend to become invisible. So it is, it's been quite humbling, Alan, I won't lie to you.
Because it's a role that you have, it was bequeathed upon you once you became a mother and you're put into this situation. We've got everyone here as a mother, right?
But I kind of dove into it kind of in the last kind of, I suppose, 10 years. I kind of changed my life a little bit and I just kind of went, well, let's just see this through. And it was a lot more difficult than what I thought it was going to be. Let's be honest, motherhood is not the easiest job.
And they don't remember that you were Miss Ireland. And were you Miss Universe or Miss Ireland? Which
No, Miss Ireland. I was Miss Ireland.
They don't care who you were.
They don't care. No. And it's just kind of like, but you know, we used to bump into each other outside gymnastics.
Crying.
And it was kind of like going...
We looked like fishwives.
And we were fishwives. But we were like, you know, we basically become these people who facilitate other people's lives. And it's like, oh, what are we thinking having these children? Like,
that's part of it. You genetically become a gobdo. Like
I
you
know.
do.
It's mental.
What do you make of this invisible woman syndrome?
Me?
Yeah, Barbara.
It's baloney.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, it is baloney.
Really?
Now, having said that, now I'm older than you, right? So I'm further down the line from you, and I identify.
Not much.
I am, and I identify with all you're saying about the work in the home and all of that kind of stuff, because I think that's one of the most. I did that for 10 years as well, and it is a job. It has no title, it has no remuneration, and it gets absolutely no respect or kudos at all. So I agree with that. As regards the invisibility, as you get older, I hate this narrative that is fed to women about how, you become invisible. You don't become invisible. The only thing that changes is that you are no longer the subject of the male gaze, if you like. You're not going to turn men's heads to the same extent as you would have done when you were younger.
Except for the woman to your right dressed as a lady.
Trust me, I couldn't get a wave in the sea, Norma. I couldn't get a wave in the sea.
Sorry, Barbara, interruption.
I think that's the only kind of invisibility. And to me, that's great. I couldn't give a flying hoot about any of that. And I think there's a great freedom in it. But that is the only thing. You are not... You are told you are invisible, and I think that is more of this thing. See, I believe that when a woman is postmenopausal, say 60 plus, that is when you're actually at your most powerful, because you've dropped all the hats that you've worn all the way along. The motherhood, the career, the kind of paying the mortgage, all that kind of stuff starts to change, and you have this incredible freedom, and you are just yourself. You've realised that you were put on this earth for doing more than having babies and minding them. And you've this whole period of life that can be amazing. And then society says, you should be worrying about your lines and wrinkles now, and you should be worrying about the fact that you look your age, and you're actually also invisible. All of which is just designed to keep you quiet and to keep you from stepping into that power, as far as I'm concerned. So it's very much part of the shows that I'm doing at the moment, which are to make people laugh, and I do make people laugh, and that's grand. But the underlying message through them all is, don't fear getting older, embrace it, because it can be an amazing time. And I think that's really important. And my next show is in Dunleary on Saturday. There's still tickets left.
Get there now.
And what's it called?
It's called Because I'm Worth It.
There you go. And you're worth it.
Absolutely.
Norma, how do you feel about this?
Well, I'm turning 50 in a couple of weeks.
Right.
Your baby.
I'm only a baby, but I play roles of 70-year-olds. So everyone thinks I'm 70. That's fine. And also, I'm not on the HRT, so things are falling a bit, dropping a bit. And so I wake up every day just I do have to motivate myself every morning and go, you know, because I can see if you're in certain jobs, you become slightly more obsolete as you get older. So I reinvent myself every morning.
The acting jobs?
The acting jobs, but not so bad in the acting jobs because you can act till the grave, you know, and you can reinvent yourself and keep, you know, creating shows and stuff like that. Sometimes if you're in a particular office job, they're shunting you out the door. And then other people don't have the confidence to get back into the work. I have friends who don't have confidence to get back into work. And I'm like, go for it.
Yeah.
You're the most valuable thing. You kind of can't make babies anymore. They're going to get a good 20 years out of you now. Go for it.
Well, I just think that is a really, really interesting thing after the child rearing and all that kind of stuff. Because I know my mother went back to work when she was done with us and she had the best 25 years of her life. Mary, fair play to her.
Mary.
Yeah.
Like, she really did well past retirement age and she just loved it. But also she was a woman who never lost her friends. That was something that was really important.
I think that's hugely important. And the problem is, when we're talking about, and I love the fact that you said it's great that, you don't feel that invisible thing. But I think what happens is with an awful lot of women, on a serious note, is that they lose their identity. And that's where the invisibility comes from, because they become this for everybody else. And then they lose their friends, which I think is really sad and tragic because, you know, when you think of young couples and they maybe get a partner, so whatever it is, then they don't have the same amount of time for their friends and family because they're all in love and whatever. And then if children do come into the equation, then you're no longer hanging around with those people because you're hanging around with other people who have babies. And then, and then all of a sudden, one day you wake up and you go, oh my God, where are my friends? Now, I'm very lucky. I don't have the network that I used to, but I still have some great friends. But I was very focused on keeping them, because otherwise you would lose your marbles. And then one day...
You need somewhere to rage.
You know,
you lose the estrogen, so you lose your patience, which is kind of cool.
That's great.
Because I know I've no filter anyway.
Do all my estrogen back, thanks, off it
Your
goes.
filter's completely gone, so you tell everyone what you think of them. Yeah. And there's a couple of billion people out there anyway, so if you find out a few, it's great.
Can I ask the three of you, I mean, it did come up there with you, Barbara, about menopause, and we know so much more about it now.
Yeah.
And what women go through in menopause, that feeling of then being invisible because you're going through so much must come into it at some stage then.
You know, to be quite honest, I mean, I'm very glad I went through menopause. I'm 64, so I reckon I came out of menopause around about 60. I went into it somewhere in my 50s, I presume. I remember saying to my best friend lives across the road, which is handy, and we're both exactly the same age. And I remember saying to her when we were about 50, I'm not doing this menopause thing. I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not paying any attention to it.
Not for me.
I'm not doing it.
I love the positivity.
I never once went to the doctor about menopause. Never once. The worst symptom I had was migraines, and I did go for that, but that was it. And most of my friends are exactly the same. And I think what's happened now is we have... What's the word?
Enabled everyone.
We have pharmacologicalized. That's not a word.
I know what, man. You went through a rough.
Now, the one thing I will say, and I hate to be devil's advocate
Different
here,
for
but
everyone.
different.
Yes, no,
what works for
yeah.
one person doesn't work for another.
It can make you very depressed and very hopeless.
I had an elective hysterectomy a couple of years ago, just before I turned 50, and I thought I was taking all the nice supplements, and I said, I'm doing great here, doing it great. And then one day it was like a train hit me, and without the HRT, I could not get out of bed, could not function.
It's so important for
Every bit of my body hurt, and I didn't have the mood swings which some people get, and I didn't really have the hot flushes, but my whole body just stopped working. Right. So I don't care. Give me the synthetic gels. I'm on testosterone, estrogen,
She's like a slippy slide under that leopard print. Just roll
I'm not allowed to take it.
Yeah,
so
you see, not
I do
everybody
have to
can.
wake up
What do you
every...
do?
I have to, because you know me, I've no filter, as I said, so I have to try not to rip the head off people and just, I have to do a bit of sport, a bit of yoga or a bit of swimming.
But I do think the point is that and your point is well made, everybody is different, but I think there's now a narrative that says to women, younger women in particular, you're going to need to take this when you hit menopause, and that's what I have an issue with. You don't necessarily.
You don't have
Not
to take
all
it.
women do,
Yeah.
and you can, menopause
Well, there's a preventative nature of it coming in as well.
But there's
Sometimes
also,
when you're
it's
hearing
seen
that,
as
you're
a
like, hold on
problem that
second.
has to be fixed.
Yeah.
It's a progression, and it's a gateway, and it doesn't
I
last
just
forever.
love Norma waking up every morning. Now, don't rip the head off everyone.
My sister sister has me on this therapy thing, right? Because I'm doing the podcast
I can
Middle
see
Range.
it as well.
And I get to do the podcast every week and be horrible to my two co-hosts. But my sister said, Norma, I think you need to, it's okay to be yourself, but you only need to be yourself 23/7. You need to save 1 hour for like live interviews, when you meet the guards, when you're at the doctor, when you're talking to the principal. 1 hour a day, just don't be yourself, goddammit.
Never be yourself. Be yourself all the time.
But there's one, you're going through a phase of life as well where you've gotten divorced. You've got a very amicable
it's
divorce.
great.
The girls have just done the leaving cert, all that kind
Just
of stuff.
divorce, lads. That's what you have to do. That's your best life.
But very amicably, you're doing everything really well, but you're going into that phase of life where you're dating again.
I'm dating. Yeah.
Think about the worst.
Like, there you go.
Think about the worst.
Well, I'm single this week. 0879.
I think Norma needs to be wearing the hat, to be honest. Giddy up.
But like you're not in an invisible role. You're out
I
there
am living
doing
my best life.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
it.
So, but I do believe, I'm not saying get divorced because it's too expensive. Don't be doing that. Just don't get married and don't have kids, is all I'm saying.
Listen,
put it up in the room.
some of our viewers have been reacting to this. Tommy, what have they been
Well,
saying?
not much crack. Like, I think a lot of people have said that they do feel invisible since they turned 50 and beyond, that people do think less of me. I also care for my mother, so my friends that work in offices seem to invite me to places less. My children don't need me as much as they used to and have their own friends to hang out. So it is easy to feel invisible. Harriet said, I'm in my 60s, retired. I do feel I'm invisible. Sometimes people rarely ask me my opinions. And my own kids, I often think that I've just been reduced to be a babysitter. And Catherine, I found that as I've gotten older, my children seem to only think of me as a chauffeur. They hang out with their aunt and the whole time, but seem to not want to sit and chat with me. So
Okay, there is the reactions over here, Barbara.
Yeah, no, I think that, I totally understand those points that the people have made who've rung in. But I think it's really important that as you get older and as your kids get older and start to become independent, that you start to realise you don't need to be there all the time.
Yeah.
That we as a species have evolved to have menopause. And nowadays we are living a good, maybe 25, 30 years after menopause. That's a huge portion of life in which you have got to redesign and decide what it is that makes you happy and what you're going to do at that time. And you also have to stop running around after your kids.
Have something going on yourself.
yourself.
My
Yeah.
mother never missed a Saturday night out for any of us. And
Love that.
Sunday.
So with the Saturday night she was gone out.
Yeah.
With her friends, with her husband, whatever.
And Sunday, I buried my friend Noreen Daly Murphy in Cork. She was sadly murdered in Youghal, and she is the sister of my dad's girlfriend. And her thing in life was live life to the max. People called her elderly. Elderly, she'd run rings around the lot of us. She lived life to the max. She was a principal in the IDT. She worked for Aer Lingus. She went to festivals. She lived to the last minute. Unfortunately, it was a very sad ending, but her thing in life was live life to the max. Every day she filled 24/7. If you're not having crack, what do you do?
That's exactly right. And I think there's a huge connection between who you are when you hit around about 60 and the menopause starts to go back and your kids are gone and your parents possibly are gone as well. You've all of this freedom. There's a huge connection between who you are at 60 and who you were when you were like leaving school. You have this same feeling of like, oh, the world is my oyster now. This is me time.
Yeah.
This is time when I get to decide what makes me happy and what am I going to do. And that's amazing. And I just wish women knew that and embraced that more. It does take the energy of saying, yeah, I'm going to know. Because we have been conditioned to put everybody else's needs first for decades. And suddenly you realise, now it's time, I'm going to put myself first. I'm going to be selfish. Do you know why? Because I'm worth it.
Because you're all worth the show. Barbara Scully Show this weekend. You can find out more on her Instagram. We'll find out where you got that suit in just a little while. Obviously, Amanda Brunker, Barbara Scully and Norma Sheehan, we are so sorry for your loss. That story was absolutely devastating for you. And I'm so sorry. She's
Wonderful
a
woman. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, all of you. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Certainly
Lovely
not
chat.
invisible.
Lovely chat.
Thanks
Definitely
for all
not
those lovely
invisible.
women.
Yeah.